Hey Holly, I thought making this video might be easier than drafting up a 5-page long dissertation to answer all your questions. They are great questions, and I love engaging on topics like this so that we as a community can educate ourselves at a higher level. So I'm making this little video to answer some of your questions. So the first point you made about the vacant commercial properties. And when we look at the new developments that are going on right now in Chamblee, there really is not much vacancy there. The largest retail development's the Whole Foods project, and they're posting a 97% occupancy rate. So the other retail sites like Parkview and whatnot haven't all announced who their tenants are, but they're all stating that they have most of their units or a big portion of their units spoken for. So even the new office developments, like the one at MARTA and the office condo rehabs, they're going on Pierce and over on Peachtree Road. Those are looking like they will have a very high occupancy rate. So it's really not the new commercial sites or the redeveloped commercial sites that are a problem. Where we fall short is the rundown properties like Chamblee Plaza and the various commercial lots that are just slabs. There is no building on them. Part of the problem with filling any commercial property is the long history we've had as a city on not really being business friendly. We have an image of not being business friendly, and some may say or make statements that that's just owners complaining and that happens everywhere. And that very well may be, but regardless of whether we are truly a business unfriendly or it's just, talk, that image exists. And if business owners think that it's difficult to do business in Chamblee, then they're going to look at another location. We live in a large metropolis. And, if I'm a business owner and it's easier to do business in Sandy Springs than Chamblee, that's where I'm going to go. And so, how do we solve that problem? Well, through branding and marketing. We have to do this throughout all of our city government and create that business friendly view. And the little things are what count in this particular regard. We need great customer service. We're getting much better as a city around that, and we need lots of hand holding through the process. If you just give someone a piece of paper and say go figure it out, they're going to get frustrated. So the more we can, as leaders and city employees, help those businesses, the more that image will change and we'll be more successful as a business community. The good news, to your point of the economic downturns, Chamblee has a very healthy reserve. And even in the worst downturn since the Great Depression, back in 2008, we stayed in the black. As a city, we do a great job of being conservative with our spending. We don't have a spending problem. And I have the greatest confidence that our past experience in this area will allow us to handle most economic situations. Moving on to your point about the percentage of residential property taxes and are we in the right state for the size of a city? Well, it really will depend on the type of community that we're comparing to and what that tax digest is for that community. It's really not uncommon for municipalities to derive a large percentage of their revenue from sources other than residential property taxes. And also note when we're talking about business, commercial properties, if a business leaves that commercial property and you have a vacant building, it doesn't mean that you will not bring in any revenue from that location. Yeah, we'll lose the various business fees that we're collecting, but unless the value of the property drops, we'll still be collecting commercial property taxes on that. So, as a financial planner, I look at everything like a financial plan, and we have certain financial goals we want to achieve. This whole thread started because Brian made a statement about wanting sidewalks. That seems to be Brian's goal. He wants sidewalks. City council and citizens might come up with other goals like more parks or safer neighborhoods or even possibly lowering taxes. And to achieve any of those goals, we have to bring in more revenue. Improving the commercial lots and giving them a higher valuation will drive more revenue. So let's look at an example of a property and how we would do that. I'm going to use the vacant slab on Savoy where the Bombay Grill was. You remember it burned down a few years. And back before it burned down, the county had it valued at $2.2 million, which gave an assessed value of $880,000, and it generated city property taxes about $5,600. Now, I'm not sure exactly how much the city was collecting in business fees from Bombay Grill, since it was just the one tenant, probably not a lot, a business license fee, maybe a pouring license, maybe a few others, but, it wasn't a lot of money. Now that the building burned down and we got a vacant slab, the land value has an assessed value of $410,000, which is generating about $2,600 a year in property taxes. Whoever owns that property is paying $2,600 to the city. So there are lots of things that might occur on that property, but we as a city need to be sitting down with the property owners and working with those type of property owners to come up with solutions on how to get it developed. One, to make it look better so that we're not looking at this vacant slab for 10 years. And two, more importantly, to increase the value of the property. Let's use as an example, if we built a small office building, a 3 or 4 story office building, similar to what they're doing on the trackside property that's on the MARTA lot. That property is going to be valued at $24 million. So if we had something similar where the Bombay Grill was, and we could increase, from that 2.2 valuation that used to be to 24 million, then the city's going to generate about $61,000 per year in property taxes. And depending on how many businesses are in that building or what type of businesses it are, it could be tens of thousands of dollars per year in business fees. As an example, Trackside is estimated to bring in $60,000 a year in business fees to the city. So you could have a very similar scenario as Trackside. At the end of the day, it's all about generating more revenue to achieve those financial goals. So I hope this helped answer your questions, and I'd be more than happy to sit down and talk with you about any other questions you have or have a more detailed conversation on this particular topic.